There are moments in life when everything around you feels loud. People's opinions, unexpected setbacks, unanswered prayers, and battles no one else can see. In those moments, the greatest victory isn't proving your strength to the world. It's protecting the peace within your own mind, because a calm mind is not a mind without problems. It's a mind that has learned not to let problems become its master. Today, I want to talk to every person who has ever felt overwhelmed, anxious, disappointed, or exhausted from carrying invisible burdens. This message is for those who are tired of reacting to every storm and are ready to respond with wisdom instead of fear. The truth is, life will always test you. Challenges will come. People will misunderstand you. Doors will close. But your greatest power is not in controlling every situation. It's in training your mind to remain calm in the middle of every situation. When your mind is calm, you make better decisions. When your spirit is calm, you hear God's direction more clearly. And when your heart is calm, no storm has the authority to steal the purpose that has been placed inside you. So today, let's discover how to train our minds to become stronger than our circumstances and find peace that doesn't depend on what's happening around us. Every challenge you face in life enters your mind before it touches your reality. The moment something unexpected happens, your mind immediately begins creating a story. Sometimes that story is filled with fear, doubt, and worst-case scenarios. Other times it is filled with hope, wisdom, and confidence. The situation may be the same, but the story you choose to believe determines how you experience it. That is why mastering your thoughts is one of the greatest skills you can develop. If you can learn to guide your mind instead of letting your mind guide you, you will discover a level of peace that circumstances cannot take away. Many people believe that stress begins with difficult situations, but stress often begins with undisciplined thinking. A single negative thought can multiply into hundreds within minutes. One disappointment becomes nothing ever works for me. One mistake becomes I always fail. One rejection becomes I will never be enough. Before long, the mind has created a prison that reality never intended. The problem is no longer just a situation. The problem is the conversation happening inside your head. Your mind is always listening to the words you repeat. Every thought you entertain becomes a seed. If you continue planting fear, fear will eventually become your perspective. If you continue planting confidence, confidence will begin to shape your character. This is why you cannot afford to leave your thoughts unattended. Just as a gardener removes weeds before they overtake the garden, you must remove destructive thoughts before they take over your peace. There will always be things outside your control. You cannot control how people treat you. You cannot control unexpected setbacks. You cannot control every delay, every disappointment, or every obstacle. But you can control what you allow to stay in your mind. You can choose not to give fear permanent residence. You can choose not to replay painful moments until they define your future. You can decide that one difficult day will not become a defeated life. A calm mind is not created by the absence of problems. It is created by the presence of discipline. Discipline teaches you to pause before reacting. It teaches you to question negative assumptions instead of immediately believing them. It teaches you to replace panic with patience and confusion with clarity. This kind of discipline is not built overnight. It grows through daily decisions to think differently, speak differently, and respond differently. Imagine standing in front of a mirror every morning. The reflection you see is influenced by how you have cared for yourself over time. Your mind works the same way. The thoughts you practice every day eventually become the reflection you carry into every conversation, every opportunity, and every challenge. If your daily thinking is filled with gratitude, resilience, and purpose, those qualities will naturally appear when life becomes difficult. But if your daily thinking is filled with worry and self-doubt, those habits will also appear the moment pressure arrives. The strongest people are not always the ones with the easiest lives. Often, they are the ones who have trained themselves not to believe every fearful thought that enters their minds. They understand that thoughts are visitors. They do not have to welcome every visitor into their home. Some thoughts deserve attention, while others deserve to be shown the door immediately. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Your circumstances may speak loudly, but your thoughts decide which voice becomes the loudest. A setback may whisper that you should quit, but your disciplined mind can answer with determination. Fear may insist that you are not ready, but your trained mind can remind you of every obstacle you have already overcome. Doubt may tell you that the future is uncertain, but your calm mind knows that uncertainty does not mean defeat. Every great achievement begins with someone refusing to surrender mentally before the battle has started. Long before victories become visible, they are first won in the private conversations people have with themselves. They choose courage before confidence appears. They choose faith before results are visible. They choose hope before circumstances improve. Their minds become stronger than their emotions, and because their minds become stronger, their actions become wiser. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of your thinking. When you master your thoughts, you stop giving temporary problems permanent authority. You begin responding instead of reacting. You begin seeing possibilities where others only see obstacles. You stop allowing fear to write the story of your future because you understand that your greatest battle has never been against your circumstances. It has always been about deciding which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones no longer have the power to shape who you become. One of the greatest lessons you will ever learn is that you cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Life has a way of presenting unexpected challenges. Sometimes people disappoint you without warning. Sometimes opportunity disappears just when you thought everything was falling into place. Sometimes delays, criticism, and failure arrive at your door uninvited. You may not have chosen those moments, but you always have a choice about your reaction. That choice has the power to shape your future far more than the event itself. Many people spend years trying to manage every circumstance around them. They want every conversation to go perfectly, every relationship to be peaceful, every plan to unfold exactly as expected, and every person to understand their intentions. But life simply does not work that way. The more you try to control everything outside of yourself, the more frustrated and exhausted you become. Real freedom begins the moment you stop fighting battles that were never yours to win and start focusing on the one thing that has always belonged to you. Your response, your reaction is where your strength lives. It is easy to remain calm when everything is going well. It is easy to smile when life is giving you exactly what you want. But true emotional strength is revealed when things fall apart and you refuse to fall apart with them. Anyone can react with anger when they are insulted. Anyone can panic when circumstances become uncertain. Anyone can lose hope when obstacles appear. But it takes a disciplined mind to pause, breathe, think clearly, and respond with wisdom instead of emotion. Every reaction creates a ripple effect. A few seconds of uncontrolled anger can damage relationships that took years to build. A careless decision made in frustration can create consequences that last much longer than the emotion itself. That is why learning to pause is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. A pause is not weakness, it is wisdom. It gives your emotions time to settle and allows your values to guide your decisions instead of your impulses. Think about how often people regret what they said in moments of anger, but rarely regret the moments when they chose patience. Words spoken in emotion cannot always be taken back. Actions driven by panic often create more problems than the original situation. A calm response, however, has the power to de-escalate conflict, protect your peace, and preserve your dignity. It reminds you that your character is more valuable than proving a point. You will meet people who misunderstand your intentions. Some will criticize you without knowing your story. Others may judge you based on one mistake instead of a lifetime of growth. If you spend your life reacting to every opinion, you will never have enough energy to pursue your purpose. Not every criticism deserves a response. Not every argument deserves your attention. Sometimes the strongest statement you can make is choosing silence over unnecessary conflict. Controlling your reactions also means refusing to let temporary emotions become permanent decisions. Fear may tell you to quit, but fear does not deserve the final word. Anger may tempt you to seek revenge, but revenge rarely brings peace. Discouragement may whisper that your efforts are pointless, but feelings are not always facts. Wise people recognize that emotions are real, but they are not reliable leaders. Emotions should inform you, not control you. Imagine a skilled captain steering a ship through a violent storm. The waves are powerful, the wind is relentless, and the sky is dark. The captain cannot command the storm to stop, but the captain can control the direction of the ship. In the same way, you cannot always calm the storms around you, but you can learn to steady the direction of your heart and mind. Your response becomes the steering wheel that keeps you moving toward your destination instead of drifting wherever the storm wants to take you. The people who inspire us most are rarely those who never faced hardship. They are the ones who faced hardship without allowing it to change their values. They remained kind in a world that encouraged bitterness. They remained hopeful in seasons of disappointment. They remained patient when everyone else was reacting in haste. Their strength was not found in perfect circumstances, but in consistent self-control. Every day gives you countless opportunities to practice this principle. A delayed plan can teach patience. A difficult conversation can teach understanding. An unexpected setback can teach resilience. Each moment invites you to decide whether you will react automatically or respond intentionally. The difference may seem small in the moment, but over time it shapes your habits, your relationships, your reputation, and your future. When you learn to control your reactions, you stop giving other people the power to dictate your peace. You stop allowing every inconvenience to steal your joy. You begin to understand that calm is not something the world gives you, it is something you protect. Your greatest strength is not found in controlling every situation around you. It is found in becoming the kind of person who remains steady, thoughtful, and grounded no matter what situation comes your way. Pressure is a part of every meaningful journey. No one reaches their purpose without moments that test their patience, challenge their confidence, and stretch their faith. The question is not whether pressure will come. The real question is what pressure will produce in you. Will it create fear, frustration, and confusion, or will it develop strength, wisdom, and inner peace? The answer depends less on the pressure itself and more on the condition of your mind. Many people assume that pressure is their enemy, but pressure often reveals what is already happening inside us. Just as fire reveals the strength of metal, difficult moments reveal the strength of our thinking. If your mind has been trained to panic, pressure will magnify panic. If your mind has been trained to trust, pressure will strengthen your trust. Challenges do not create your character overnight. They uncover the character you have been building every single day. Think about a diamond. Before it becomes something valuable, it spends years deep beneath the surface under intense pressure. The same force that could destroy something weak helps create something extraordinary. Life often works the same way. The seasons that feel the heaviest are sometimes the very seasons shaping you into the person you were meant to become. What feels like a burden today may become the foundation of your wisdom tomorrow. Pressure has a unique way of demanding immediate reactions. It tells you to make quick decisions, assume the worst, and believe that every obstacle is permanent. But calm refuses to be rushed. A peaceful mind understands that not every problem requires an instant answer. Sometimes the wisest response is to slow down, gather your thoughts, and refuse to let urgency replace wisdom. A hurried mind often creates unnecessary mistakes, while a calm mind creates thoughtful solutions. There will be moments when everything seems uncertain. Plans may change without warning. Doors you expected to open may remain closed. People you trusted may walk away. During those moments, pressure will whisper that your future is falling apart. But what if your future is not falling apart? What if it is simply being redirected? Sometimes what feels like a setback is actually preparation for something greater than you could have imagined. A calm mind leaves room for possibilities that fear cannot see. One of the greatest mistakes people make under pressure is believing that they must carry every burden alone. They convince themselves that asking for help is weakness, or that admitting they feel overwhelmed somehow makes them less capable. In reality, wisdom recognizes limits. Strong people are not those who never feel pressure. Strong people are those who know how to handle pressure without allowing it to crush their spirit. They seek guidance, they remain teachable, and they refuse to let pride isolate them, pressure also has a way of exposing your priorities. When life becomes difficult, the things that truly matter become much clearer. You begin to realize that peace is more valuable than proving a point. Relationships are more important than winning every argument. Good health is worth more than endless success. A meaningful purpose outweighs temporary recognition. Pressure strips away distractions and reminds you to focus on what will still matter long after today's challenges have passed. Your inner dialogue becomes especially important during difficult seasons. If you constantly repeat that you are defeated, helpless, or incapable, your actions will eventually reflect those beliefs. But if you remind yourself that every challenge carries a lesson, every delay has a purpose, and every obstacle can become an opportunity for growth, your perspective begins to change. You may not feel stronger immediately, but your mind starts creating space for hope instead of despair. There is something powerful about remaining calm when everyone expects you to panic. Calm is not pretending that problems do not exist. Calm is choosing confidence even while acknowledging the reality of the situation. It is looking at difficulty without allowing difficulty to define your identity. It is refusing to let temporary pressure convince you that your permanent purpose has disappeared. History is filled with people who achieved remarkable things because they refused to allow pressure to determine their destiny. They faced rejection, criticism, failure, and uncertainty, yet they continued moving forward with steady hearts. Their circumstances were not always favorable, but their mindset remained focused. They understood that pressure is temporary. While the lessons learned through pressure can last a lifetime, every challenge you overcome adds another layer of confidence to your life. You begin to remember that you have survived difficult days before. You have found answers when you thought there were none. You have recovered from disappointments that once seemed impossible to overcome. Those experiences become evidence that you are stronger than your current fears. Instead of seeing pressure as proof that you are failing, you begin to see it as proof that you are growing. When you learn to transform pressure into inner peace, you stop allowing difficult moments to steal your joy. You begin walking through uncertainty with confidence instead of panic. You recognize that storms may surround you, but they do not have to control you. The greatest victories are not always the ones the world applauds. Sometimes the greatest victory is simply maintaining a peaceful heart while everything around you is demanding that you lose it. One of the hardest things to do in life is to trust the process when you cannot understand the purpose behind what you are experiencing. We naturally want answers. We want to know why doors close, why prayers seem delayed, why opportunities disappear, and why seasons of waiting feel so much longer than we expected. Our minds are constantly searching for certainty because certainty feels safe, but growth rarely happens in certainty. Growth happens when you continue moving forward, even when the next step is not completely clear. Every meaningful journey includes moments that make no sense at first. There are chapters of life where it feels like you are doing everything right, yet nothing seems to be changing. You work hard, remain faithful, stay committed, and still the results do not come as quickly as you hoped. During those moments, frustration begins to whisper that your efforts are being wasted. Doubt starts asking whether you should give up. Fear convinces you that if you cannot see progress, then no progress is being made. But the most important work often happens beneath the surface, where your eyes cannot yet see it. Think about a seed planted in the ground. The moment it disappears beneath the soil, it does not look successful. It looks buried. If someone judged the process too early, they might believe nothing was happening. Yet beneath the surface, roots are quietly growing. The seed is developing strength before it ever reaches the light. If it tried to grow upward before building a strong foundation, it would never survive the storms that would eventually come. Life works in much the same way. There are seasons when it feels like you are buried, but in reality, you are being rooted. Trusting the process requires patience, and patience is one of the rarest qualities in today's world. We live in a culture that celebrates instant results. We expect quick answers, immediate success, and overnight transformation. But the most valuable things in life take time. Character takes time. Wisdom takes time. Emotional maturity takes time. A calm and disciplined mind is not developed in one perfect day. It is built through countless ordinary days when you choose faith over fear and perseverance over discouragement. The challenge is that waiting often feels like losing. When nothing seems to be changing, your mind can begin creating stories that are not true. It tells you that you have been forgotten, that your efforts are unnoticed, or that your dreams are slipping away. But silence does not always mean absence. Delay does not always mean denial. Sometimes life is preparing you for responsibilities that your current version is not yet ready to carry. The process is not only about reaching the destination, it is also about becoming the kind of person who can handle what awaits you there. There are moments when disappointment becomes a powerful teacher. A closed door may protect you from walking into the wrong opportunity. A failed attempt may teach you lessons that success never could. A season of loneliness may help you discover strengths that constant comfort would have kept hidden. Looking back, many people realize that the experiences they once wanted to escape became the very experiences that shaped their greatest wisdom. What felt unfair at the time later revealed itself to be necessary. Trusting the process also means refusing to compare your journey with someone else's. Comparison creates unnecessary pressure because you begin measuring your progress against people who walk a completely different path. Someone else's success is not evidence that you are behind. Someone else's timeline is not the standard for your life. Every person has different lessons to learn, different obstacles to overcome, and different purposes to fulfill. Peace comes when you stop racing against others and start becoming faithful to your own journey. Your mindset determines how you experience seasons of uncertainty. A fearful mind sees every delay as failure. A calm mind sees every delay as preparation. A fearful mind assumes the worst when plans change. A calm mind remains open to possibilities that have not yet appeared. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending difficulties do not exist. It means believing that today's circumstances are not the final chapter of your story. When life feels uncertain, continue doing the small things well. Keep learning even when recognition is absent. Keep showing kindness even when it is not returned. Keep acting with integrity even when shortcuts seem easier. Small acts of consistency build the foundation for extraordinary outcomes. Great lives are rarely built through one dramatic moment. They are built through thousands of quiet decisions that no one else notices. There will always be moments when you wish you had more answers. There will always be situations where you cannot immediately understand why something happened the way it did. During those times, remind yourself that understanding often arrives after obedience, not before it. Clarity frequently comes after you have taken the next faithful step. The path becomes clearer as you continue walking it, not while standing still waiting for every question to be answered. A calm mind learns to trust that not everything must make sense today. It accepts that some lessons can only be understood with time. It refuses to let temporary confusion become permanent discouragement. Instead of demanding immediate explanations, it focuses on remaining steady, faithful, and teachable through every season. When you trust the process, you stop fighting every delay, every detour, and every unexpected change. You begin to understand that even when you cannot see the entire path, every step taken with patience, wisdom, and faith is quietly shaping the person you are becoming. A calm mind is not something you suddenly discover during life's biggest storms. It is something you build long before the storm arrives. Just as an athlete prepares before the competition and a musician practices before stepping onto the stage, your mind must be trained every day if you want it to remain steady when life becomes difficult. Calm is not an accident. It is the result of habits repeated consistently over time. The small choices you make each day quietly shape the person you become when pressure appears. Many people wait until they feel overwhelmed before they begin caring for their mental and emotional well-being. By then, they are trying to build strength while already carrying a heavy burden. It is much wiser to develop healthy habits during peaceful seasons so they become your foundation during challenging ones. Daily discipline may seem ordinary, but ordinary habits create extraordinary resilience. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is learning to begin your day with intention instead of reaction. Too often, people wake up and immediately allow distractions, worries, and endless information to fill their minds. Before they have even taken a deep breath, they are already carrying the weight of the world's demands. A calm mind begins differently. It creates space to think before speaking, to reflect before reacting, and to choose peace before pressure has a chance to take control. Another important habit is becoming aware of what you allow into your mind. Every conversation, every book, every video, every piece of news, and every voice you listen to influences your thinking. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant consistently will eventually grow. If you constantly fill your thoughts with negativity, fear, and comparison, your outlook on life will slowly become clouded. But if you regularly expose yourself to wisdom, encouragement, gratitude, and truth, your perspective becomes stronger and more balanced. Gratitude is another habit that transforms the way your mind responds to challenges. It is impossible to focus completely on what you have while constantly dwelling on what you lack. This does not mean pretending life is perfect or ignoring real struggles. It means choosing to recognize that even in difficult seasons, there are still reasons to be thankful. Gratitude shifts your attention from scarcity to abundance. It reminds you that your current challenges are only one part of your story, not the whole story. Learning to pause throughout the day is also a habit worth developing. Modern life encourages constant movement, endless notifications, and the belief that being busy is the same as being productive. Yet a restless schedule often creates a restless mind. Taking a few moments to breathe deeply, gather your thoughts, and regain your focus allows your emotions to settle before they begin controlling your actions. Those brief pauses may seem insignificant, but they can prevent countless unnecessary mistakes and regrets. Healthy relationships are another daily habit that strengthens your inner peace. The people you spend time with influence your mindset more than you may realize. Encouraging people inspire hope. Wise people offer perspective. Calm people model emotional stability. On the other hand, constant negativity, criticism, and unnecessary drama slowly drain your emotional energy. Choosing relationships that challenge you to grow while protecting your peace is an investment in your future. Your words also become daily habits. Every time you speak about yourself, your future, or your circumstances, you reinforce a certain way of thinking. If your vocabulary is filled with defeat, hopelessness, and self-criticism, your mind begins accepting those words as truth. But when your speech reflects courage, responsibility, and possibility, your thinking gradually follows. Your words cannot magically change every circumstance, but they certainly influence the attitude with which you face those circumstances. Rest should never be mistaken for weakness. Many people believe they must constantly push themselves without stopping, but an exhausted mind struggles to make wise decisions. Fatigue often makes problems appear larger than they truly are. Taking care of your body through proper rest, movement, and healthy routines supports your emotional resilience. A strong mind functions best when it is supported by healthy daily rhythms rather than constant exhaustion. Consistency is far more valuable than perfection. You do not need one perfect day to build a peaceful mind. You need many ordinary days where you continue choosing the right habits even when you do not immediately see the results. Some days you will feel motivated, other days you will not. The secret is not depending on motivation, it is depending on discipline. Discipline continues long after emotions have changed. There will be times when old habits try to return. Fear may tempt you to overthink. Stress may encourage you to react impulsively. Doubt may invite you to question your progress. During those moments, remember that growth is not measured by never facing challenges again. Growth is measured by how quickly you return to the habits that strengthen your peace. Every time you choose patience over panic, gratitude over complaint, wisdom over impulse, and hope over fear, you reinforce the kind of mind you are becoming. The habits you practice today become the character you carry tomorrow. Every calm decision, every thoughtful response, every grateful heart, every disciplined choice, and every intentional moment strengthens your ability to face life with confidence. Over time, these daily practices become so deeply rooted within you that even when unexpected storms arrive, your mind remembers what it has been trained to do. Instead of being controlled by fear, you remain grounded in peace because you have built that peace one faithful habit at a time.